W7 Live. Girls Basketball Media Day 23-24 afternoon session. We got through the morning good, and we're already off to a great start for the afternoon. We have on the Jolly Good Hotline, it's the one, it's the only, Corey Wolf, head coach at Homestead. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, great to have you, Connor Du Bois, joining us as well. So you're kind of sandwiched between us two, and we're ready to talk some girls basketball and all that fun stuff. So let's get right into it. And I'm going to put the timer on so Connor and I don't tend to ramble on too long. All right, let's get started talking about 22-23. 22-4, 18-0 in the North Shore. First place, obviously. And tough loss to Kimberly in the regional finals. 57-54. Do you want to just talk about 22-23 and give us a kind of a recap of the season for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think last year we took a big step from the year before. We had the majority of our players back, which was really nice. Players that had a lot of experience. Battle tested by some of our conference games and especially our non-conference games. We really try to challenge ourselves in regards to our non-conference scheduling. So I thought we had a lot of players, especially our young kids, our 25 kids, step up last year. And I think they're ready to step up again, along with our senior Caitlin Odom too.
Well, your top five leading scorers from that 22-4 team are back, including Madison Fitzgibbon, Natalie Miller, Grace Zortman, Lauren Streifling, and of course the aforementioned senior Caitlin Odom. Maturity-wise, Coach, where's this group at right now? I mean, certainly, they've had 2 great years, but, they're underclassmen. Now they're moving into that upperclassman role. Where are you guys at, do you think, maturity-wise as a team?
I think they've taken a really big jump from last year to this year. Again, part of it may just be because they are upperclassmen. Caitlin's been on varsity for 4 years. Those other kids, this will be their 3rd year on varsity. I think just their comfort level. I think, the biggest thing for them, I think they're disappointed in the tournament play, in the playoffs, the losses the last 2 years, Kimberly, and then Divine Savior. And I think that just has really motivated them to take another step. And sometimes that step isn't just skill work. Sometimes that step is the intangibles. And one of those intangibles is leadership. And if you want to be a great team, you have to have great leaders. And I think the girls have really taken that seriously, and the returners have taken some really big steps in regards to that.
Looking ahead at this year, the North Shore, I mean, and you guys are kind of used to this role. I mean, this, you're the hunted. I mean, you've got everybody that wants to have their best game of the year against Homestead and have that kind of banquet game where they can look back and say, hey, we beat the top of the pack in the during the regular season. I mean, what's that like to be kind of have that target on your back all year long?
We love it. I mean, we want to see everybody's best game, and we hope that we can come out and play our best game too. We love the challenge. I think what's going to be really interesting this year in the North Shore is a lot of teams got better. There's a lot of good schools with incoming the freshman class. The freshman classes from last year, they're now sophomore classes. Those kids are a lot better. Those teams are a lot better. And, we're looking forward to that challenge.
Looking at your schedule this year, I mean, you didn't pull any punches on your schedule. I mean, it's a pretty brutal schedule you guys have this year.
Yeah, we really try to challenge ourselves with our non-conference games. We played some of the top teams in the state, get a chance to play against some of the top players in the state. But that's what our players love. I mean, I think those are the games that make you better because they will expose your weaknesses, and then you can work on those. And hopefully by the end of the season, you kind of trim that down a little bit, and your team has shown that growth throughout the year when they've been battle tested.
If you had to pick one word to kind of describe the program and the team, I mean, is there a word that comes to mind that says, hey, the core of this team is what?
I think they're very competitive. They're competitive in lots of different ways. And I think, starting with our senior, I mean, Caitlin, she's a fierce competitor on the court.
Yes.
But I think our other kids are too. They want to win. They're competitive in drills. They're competitive in skill work. They're competitive against each other. They're competitive amongst themselves, individually. So I think that'd probably be the best word to describe our group.
And I don't want to harp on last year, but I mean, what was that like? I mean, what was the emotions like after that Kimberly game? Because I know you guys had really high expectations and high hopes for last year. What was kind of the vibe like after that, and heading into the off season, getting ready for this year? Is that a motivator for you guys, for the girls?
Yeah, I think the last 2 years have been, because we kind of experienced that the year before with Divine Savior. I mean, for lack of a better, I mean, they were crushed. You put
Yeah.
all this time in. It's a long season. Again, you're going through a long off season, and I mean, it's crushing for them. I mean, they were very disappointed, and in their final game, and I think that's hard. I mean, I think also I feel like most teams are disappointed in their final game, right? I mean,
Right.
there aren't many teams
Yes.
that win that final one. But I think they're just looking for more, and they're hungry for more. And I feel like this year we're ready for that.
What's your take on the conference this year? I mean, I've had Vinny Daniels on earlier. I had who else from Matt D'Amato on. I mean, they're singing the praises of Homestead, obviously, but also it's a pretty loaded conference this year.
Yeah, I think our conference has had a lot of good young players, especially, I mean, the senior class now, a lot of these kids in the senior class, played varsity as freshmen, in other teams in the conference. And now you're talking about the junior class, same type of thing. There's some good incoming classes. You got Hartford's got a good incoming freshman class. Bay does. Hartford had a good freshman class last year. I mean, there's just so many good young players. And sometimes all those young players need is a really good leader on that team, to make their game grow and take it to another level. So, that young talent is scary.
Yeah, and speaking of leadership, I mean, what are the expectations you have for these kids, especially for like Caitlin being the senior, for leadership, as far as helping build kind of the next group coming in after them. I mean, what's that look like for you guys?
For me, I would love to see all our kids step up in regards to that, because they're all different kinds of leaders. Some of the kids, lead by example. Some of the kids are just their confidence on the court. Other kids will turn to them as leaders. Caitlin's tough. She's gritty. She's tenacious. So her leadership is in regards to those qualities. But it'll be interesting to see who steps up for us and in what ways in regards to our leadership, because I feel like that's what's going to take us to the next level, in regards to this season and come tournament play.
As far as getting to that next level, I mean, getting to the sectionals, and I firmly believe this team is equipped to make a run at state. And I know we're getting way ahead of the game here. I mean, I get that, so I'm not going to ask you to do any predictions or anything like that. But I'm just saying, to get to that next level where you want to get, what needs to be added or changed from last year, do you think?
I think the biggest thing for us, again, some of our on the court stuff is really just our communication, just being comfortable talking more on the court, helping your teammates. Your communication helps your teammates. And I think just in general, this is where kids that age struggle. Communication, not just on the court, obviously, but off the court, things like that. But you can't underestimate how much communication means. And I think that's where we need to take a big step. And I think these kids just have a comfort level with each other where I think that will be better for us this year. I really feel like if you're going to have a successful season or win any kind of championship, you got to be good defensively, and you got to be good. You got to be a good rebounding team. We're small, so I feel like offensively, in regards to rebounding, we're a good offensive rebounding team because we can use our quickness. But defensively, that's where the physicality of the game comes in a little more, and that's where we got to be better.
And we talk about this 25 class so often as a group. I want to just pick them apart for just a second and I'm just going to say a name, and you give me a quick, 15, 30 seconds and strengths wise for each of these kids, not just on the court, but just as kids also. So let me start with Madison Fitzgibbon.
I mean, I don't think I've ever coached a kid that can shoot like Madison. I mean, her range is special. And I mean, she can hit from anywhere at any time. And for us, what it does, it opens up our offense. It gives a lot more spacing to our other players. So I'm hoping that she'll be a little more aggressive offensively, taking some more shots and maybe taking some shots that are a little more risky, because it will help our team and will open up our offense.
She's the Caitlin Clark of the North Shore. I'm telling you, that kid could make
like
just about anything. I'm a big fan, obviously. Natalie Miller.
Natalie can get anywhere. She's another very skilled player. She can shoot it, but Natalie's biggest strength is the way she finishes around the basket. She's kind of slippery. She kind of gets to wherever she needs to go. She can finish off-footed, strong-footed, both hands. She's very crafty when she gets in the lane.
And Grace Zortman.
Grace is just kind of a beast. I mean, that kid just goes, she's tenacious. She just never gives up on any play at any time. I mean, her motor is so special. Her skills really improved last year, and I think that's why she took a huge jump. But I think you're going to see that again this year. I think her skills also got a lot better, but her motor is special, and that's what makes her special.
And Lauren Streifling.
Lauren got a lot better also. Lauren's a very skilled, she's, one of our tallest players. So we're going to ask her to really physically kind of be our leader this year, especially in regards to rebounding. But Lauren can play pretty much, 2 through 5 spots. So we're looking for Lauren to take a big step. I think she did some really good things this summer. And we've seen a lot of good things in the fall from her.
Definitely. Okay, so let's do a quick speed round. I'll let you go. Let me start with if I'm going down a dark alley somewhere and I got to pick somebody from your team to take with me to watch my six, who's that girl?
You're taking Caitlin, no doubt.
Yeah.
Caitlin Odom. Absolutely.
No question. Who's the TikTok queen of Homestead girls basketball? Is there one?
Oh, that's a tough one. They're all pretty good at TikTok. I mean, I feel like I see Caitlin on it a little bit, Grace, Natalie. I mean, yeah, they'd be my 3 probably.
Who organizes the dances at practice? When you're in a break or whatever. Who's the one that's always kind of taking charge and okay, let's do this.
Well, I think in regards to kind of being a little goofy and silly, I think that's Natalie Miller for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Who's the team mom of the team? Which player is the team mom that's, hey, remember we're wearing these jerseys, the bus leaves at this time, and, if you need a ride, give me a call. Who's that kid?
I'd say Madison is probably the most responsible when it comes to that. Yeah, she'd probably be my pick for that one.
Well, I tell you what, we're super excited about Homestead girls basketball 23-24, and I'll give a spoiler alert. Homestead girls basketball is coming to W7 in 23-24, no doubt about it. In fact, we're going to go see your sister first in November 25th when Carol takes on Ripon. Are you guys playing in the Thanksgiving tournament at Kettle Moraine, Coach?
Yeah, we're playing that Saturday. We play Nina on Saturday. Yeah.
Oh, have fun with that.
We're excited for that.
We'll tell Lindsay hi for you.
No.
Hey, good luck this season, Coach. We're looking forward to seeing you and seeing the girls. We always have fun when we get to catch up with them, and enjoy Sweet November, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thanks for having me.
Corey Wolf, the head coach of Homestead girls basketball, has been our special guest. We're coming back at 12:40. Ram Power, Trina Van Horn coming up next.
When I look into your eyes, I can see your love is strain. But darling, when I hold you, don't you know I feel the same? Or I'll just end up walking in the cold November rain. Do you need some time on your own? Do you need some time all alone? Everybody needs some time on their own. Don't you know you need some time all alone? I know it's hard to keep an open heart when even friends seem out to harm you. But if you could heal a broken heart, wouldn't I be out to charm you?
Everybody's like, I'm gonna be like, that's
Sometimes I need some time on my own. Sometimes I need some time all alone. Everybody needs some time on their own. Don't you know you need some time all alone?
hopefully. Like, that might go on.
As soon as I go on there, probably.
Hopefully you'll be able to do it. Let's put up.
Maybe there with people.
And when your fears subside and shadows still remain,
Yeah, maybe posting you.
oh yeah,
They do all the funny stuff.
Yeah, that's
I know that you can't love me when there's no one left to blame.
This is this one. Okay. That's when you committed.
Live a mind in darkness, we still can't find a way.
your job.
Nothing lasts forever.
The dogs
in
are
the
running.
cold November rain.
Cutting
That's gonna be hard to stop.
W7 Live Girls Basketball Media Day continues. Gary Wilverman and Connor DuBois, and our special 1240 guest is the head of Ram Power, Random Lake head coach Trina Van Horn. Coach, welcome to W7 Media Day.
Hello, Gary. Hi, Connor. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, great to have you. And of
Absolutely.
course, unless you've been under a rock the last 2 years, everybody knows Random Lake is our W7 home school. This year, it's our W7 South home school. And we had a great volleyball season with the girls. And I can tell you almost every day I had Mara or somebody coming up to me and saying, I can't wait for basketball. And we're finally almost there. Coach, let's start with talking about 22-23. And I mentioned this to Coach Matt D'Amato at Grafton this morning. I said, I don't know how you guys as coaches, I have such respect for you guys. I don't know how you're able to, keep it together when these girls leave and graduate. And for me, even more so with Random Lake, just because we've gotten to know them so well over the years. I mean, Abby Borchert, Becca Arndt, Courtney Rasky, of course your niece, and Chloe Tice, 4 of your top 5 scorers gone for this year. So it's a tall task for Hal and the group, but a really great class. Do you want to talk about 22-23 a little bit?
Oh, sure. Would love to. Yeah, that was a great group. I was particularly close to that class, coaching them since 2nd grade, and just real strong, wonderful personalities that we just had a ton of fun. First time in school history that we won regionals. Everyone contributed. It was just an amazing year. We did so many team bonding events that really brought us even closer together. So yeah, that end of the year banquet, there was a lot of tears shed.
I'm
from
sure there
everybody.
were.
Parents,
Yeah.
everybody.
I'm sure, 15-12 overall, 10-9 in the Big East South, 4th place, and got to a sectional semifinal against a really tough Prairie School team. We got to see the Prairie School when they played Union Grove in the middle of February, and I could tell coming in it was going to be a tall order against a really talented Prairie School team. But hey, great season for you guys. I think definitely, it was as a 22-23 was a big accomplishment for you guys. Now let's transition to 23-24. It's going to be a different look this year for Random Lake. I think as I've said it the last 2 years, and I think it bears repeating. I mean, I think this team's success comes and goes with Hallie. Hallie playing the kind of ball that I think Hallie's capable of. And I think, last year I felt I saw a lot more consistency out of Hal than maybe the previous 2 years. And of course that comes with maturity. But also I just feel like maybe she's becoming a little more comfortable, comfortable in her own skin on the court, and a little more vocal as well. Certainly as your daughter, I mean, you know her better than anybody. Thoughts on her role this year and what her leadership's going to mean to this team?
Yeah, I agree with you. The more she gets more comfortable, she's so hard on herself. So any little mistake, she's going to beat herself up. So it really helps when you're there or Connor's there and you give her a little pep talk before the game. That's always helpful. Because she listens to me, but I'm also mom,
right?
And sometimes she doesn't, but most of the time she does. And she's just so unselfish. And I think that's the key this year. We're a team that's going to distribute the basketball a lot more. We're going to work a possession probably to the full 30, 45 seconds. Unlike last year where we kind of shot quicker and earlier in the shot clock. But it's everyone's going to have to step up. We're going to have to see, there's lots of opportunities for these girls. A lot of them have gotten minutes last year and have varsity experience because we have 7 returning letter winners and 4 seniors. So Jayla and Trista and Haley. I'm expecting a lot from them. It's their senior year. Hopefully they feel like they want to fill those roles and step up in there. And I think they're capable.
Yeah, and it's interesting too. I mean, yes, of course, Abby and Becca and Court and Chloe were all big personalities. But you know what? I mean, Jayla Harder's a winner. I mean, she just is. Trista's a winner. They know they play multiple sports. They know how to behave in big situations. I got to see them at sectional softball. I was so proud of how they played in softball last year. Of course, J-Lo was the Big East Player of the Year in softball last year. So, maybe it's not their primary sport, but I think they bring, leadership to this team that I think you really, really need this year.
Oh, definitely. Being a small school, all the girls are multi-sport athletes, and Jayla's tough, and Trista's tough. They're fighters, and their tenacity. And when we do rebounding drills and practice, it gets scrappy, which is awesome. And that's just their natural athleticism and their competitiveness. That just comes through.
I love Trista so much just because she gets every ounce of ability out of her frame, right? I mean,
Yes, she does.
a lot of it she just does through just hard work and grit, right? I mean, she's just one of those kids that you look at her and I mean, and she's not a big kid or anything, but I mean, she'll surprise you how physical she can be and how tough she can be. And again, if that's the identity you want for this team this year, I can't think of anybody better to have than a Trista Knoll.
Oh yeah, yep, definitely. She was one of our top rebounders.
Yeah, and speaking of that, filling the gaps, and I know she's watching, or at least will be watching shortly, is Mara Kinsler. I mean, you really need a big year from Mara this year. Because she's got the size, she can play inside, she can play. The one thing I keep telling Mara is just be tough inside, be physical. She's got such a great frame about her. I mean, she can move some things around inside. I think if she can play physical the way that you need her to, I think she can have a really big year.
Oh yeah, I agree. When she can get around the hoop and she has that nice little soft touch with that turnaround either direction, she plays best on the move. So keeping her moving will be key, and getting her looks and hitting her with those passes to let her be able to shoot within her flow. And then she can step out at the three and pull a big girl out, which is great.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be on her again this year. I mean, I don't give her any slack. She knows that, but she knows it's because I love her. So I'm going to be tough on her, but it's all comes from a good place. Thoughts on the conference? Of course, Oostburg is Oostburg. I mean, they're the elephant in the room. I mean, but thoughts on the Big East and what you've got in front of you this year?
Yeah, Oostburg's always been tough. When I played at Random, they were always the school to beat. So it's kind of like I just can't shake them sometimes. But they're definitely going to be tough with the Ketterhagen twins, and they've got 4 starters coming back, so they're going to be strong. Sheboygan Lutheran's going to be strong again. They're a solid team and a solid program, and I think there's going to be surprises. I know you talked to Sheboygan Christian earlier with the new coach, and
he's fired up. Trina. He is. He is ready to go.
A lot of excitement. That's what you need, and look at his numbers. He's pulling. What did he say? 22 girls or something?
Yeah, 23 girls going out for basketball.
That's amazing.
That's incredible at that school.
Yeah, I think every single girl must be signed up. So that's a testimony to him and his energy. Cedar Grove, we always battle with. They tend to be, a team that, we dread going there because it seems like we always seem to play our worst game in that gym for some reason. And
tough place to play.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And Kohler's an up and coming team with the new coach. So who knows what's going to happen there as well.
How do you measure success this year, Trina? I mean, what are you looking at, especially early? What are the kind of touchstones you're looking at and say, hey, we got to be able to do this right away?
I think the key for us is togetherness. And we had a preseason meeting about a week ago, and their motto this year is the right path taken is the one we take together. And I think that's really going to be key because we don't have, say, standouts. We just all have to contribute. And if we actively stay engaged in every single person, we're a small team this year. We only have 15 total coming out JV and varsity. So
wow. There's
going to be some 3 halves being played by players. We're going to be practicing together a lot. So we run the same system. So it's really getting them engaged, each and every one of them, and the closeness that we'll have. I also had them write down 3 things that they want to get out of the year. And by far, the top 2 things were team bonding and have fun.
Love that.
If I can do those things.
All right.
I love
We already had
that.
our first team bonding event.
I saw that. So, Connor, I don't know if you saw it, but Trina actually emailed me a picture of the girls. They went and saw it in the theater, and she sent me a picture of it. So that was their first team bonding of the year.
That was actually a haunted corn maze
Really?
that they went to. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about that. So, who was the most scared? Who screamed the most?
Oh my gosh. Well, they met at our house, and my husband Chuck and I had our costumes on. Chuck was a ghost, and I was hiding behind the door each girl, walking through the door. Trista didn't get scared one bit.
Of course not.
We had Madeline screaming. Haley Wittenberg. Oh my gosh. She's so afraid of clowns. I didn't know if she was even gonna make it through the night. So they had a lot of fun.
That's fantastic.
MD, what do you see her role as this year? I think she's got to play a bigger role this year, especially with Abby being gone and in the backcourt. I think she's got to play a big role this year. MD does. I'm talking about Madeline Abler. Of course.
Oh yeah, definitely. Madeline being a ball handler and a shooter, she's capable of more than what I think she realizes she is.
Yes, agree.
And I'm expecting a lot from her. She's amazing in pressure situations. She's just, game on the line, she will have no emotion and she'll drain two free throws. Like it's nothing.
Yeah.
I'm also expecting Chesney. She's coming up from JV with lots of good minutes and played really well this summer. So looking forward to seeing how she can fill some of these roles. And we've got some incoming freshmen that we have some high hopes for. So all in all, I'm looking forward to what this group, which is totally different than last year's group, can do.
Is Lexi Grumman playing this year?
Well, last year she was our first redshirt freshman because we had no 8th grade team, and she practiced with us every single practice. So kudos to her, because that's not easy, practicing and not being able to play. And she played AAU all summer as well as Mara. So they got a lot of off-season ball in, which helps improve their game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what she can do as well.
Yeah, you know what? And I think with this team, I mean, you've got a nice blend, and also you've got kids that have kind of been there. I mean, they've played in big situations. I mean, I bring up Lexi simply because when our last volleyball game of the year was against Valders, when we did Random Lake Valders, and she did the last 2 serves that actually won the match for Random Lake. So I mean,
first time in a varsity game.
Yeah, I mean, you love kids like that, and you love that they respond like that in a big situation. I mean, that's always a great thing.
Oh yeah, as a freshman, yeah. And this summer when she played with us in summer ball, she's breaking down the team huddles. She's not afraid. She's ready to go.
Yeah, she's your next Abby, I think. On this group. So okay, let's shift and talk. Do speed round a little bit here. So this one I'm already going to know. I won't say it. I'll let you say it. But I think we're both on the same page on this. If I'm walking down a dark alley somewhere at 2 a.m. in Random Lake and I see some menacing figures, who do I want watching my 6?
Jayla.
Yeah. I would agree.
Is that who you're gonna say?
Yeah, that's who I was gonna say. I was gonna say Jayla. Yeah. Jayla's just one of the sweetest kids I know, but I mean, she's gritty, man, and she's competitive. I mean, ultra competitive, and I just love that about her. All
I gotta tell her is win the 50-50 balls, and she is
right.
She's feisty.
Yes, she definitely is. She definitely is. Who's the TikTok queen? I think I know this, but I'll let you tell me if you got somebody in mind.
Gosh, I'm not real good with the social media stuff, but I'm going to probably say Trista.
Yeah, I was going to say Trista or Mara. I think Mara is pretty active as well.
Is she? Yeah. She might. She probably hides that from me a little bit.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see that. Who's the team mom going to be this year in this group? Who's going to make sure that they get to the bus at the right time, bring the right socks, and show up where they're supposed to be? Who's that girl?
Well, I'm probably gonna have to say Hallie, and maybe because she doesn't want to be, but because I put a lot on her, like, hey, make sure the team's doing this, Snapchat the team, make sure we're doing that, and she's always kind of looking out for everybody, and she's just got a huge heart, and her selflessness. I think the team really admires that about her, and she puts
does.
herself out there, and that's.
And I'm going to give Hal permission right now to be less selfish this year and do some more shooting and take a bigger role in scoring this year. So Hal, you've got my permission to do it. I'm going to be on you about it this year too, because I mean you are such an unselfish kid. But they're going to need your points this year. So make sure that you execute on that. Connor, last thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, kind of echoing that. I think Hal's going to be in a unique spot, and that that she's going to be the focus of everybody. And I think early on in the season, if she can really get things going and just kind of, like you said, stay consistent and keep floating that ship while some of those younger kids and the role players grow into these new roles this year with a lot of seniors graduating. It's a tough conference, and you never know what can happen at the end. I mean, you look at the 15-12 record and a regional championship, first time in school history, but definitely a repeatable act. And I don't know how many times Gary's going to let me get down to Random Lake, but
Not too many.
Keeping me north of. I think he's keeping me kind of north of Manitowoc this year, unfortunately. But maybe I'll sneak down and try to catch in a game or two.
Well, we're not going to we're not spilling the beans here, but of course, Random Lake girls basketball is coming to W7 this year. Virtually all of the Random Lake home and away games will be on W7. We're excited to get back up there. When I went and did our first volleyball game, I realized the last time I was there was in February. We did our last basketball game, so it had been like 8 months. I was like, oh my gosh, I miss these girls. So it was fun to get back. I'm looking forward to it. Your season opener, November 17th at Living Word Lutheran. That's on Friday, November 17th. We'll be there for that. And tough opening part of the schedule, Coach. Living Word Lutheran, Port Washington. Port Washington's on the rise. In fact, Jake Wall's coming up next from Port. I think he's on already. Mishicot, always a challenge, and then Denmark, another team you got to watch out for. So it's you're going to come in hot right away.
Oh yeah, be challenged right away and see what we can do.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for your time, and as always, thank you for the support from Chuck and from the Random Lake community. And I tell you what, it's a very special place. We've been so thrilled and honored to be a part of the Random Lake community the last 2 years. I'm looking forward to keeping that going this year. So thanks for your time. Love to Hal, of course, and look forward to seeing all the girls as we get into Sweet November.
Sounds great. Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Connor.
Thanks,
We'll
Coach.
see you soon. That's Trina Van Horn, the head coach for Random Lake. Ram Power coming back to W7. But we'll be right back with Jake Wall from Port Washington. You're watching W7.
Counts me.
W7 Live 23-24 Girls Basketball Media Day on W7. 35 coaches today. Connor, what in the world were we thinking when we put this together?
I don't know. I've only been on for 4, and that's already good stuff. Been on for like 15.
Well, let's welcome our next guest. It is the head coach of the Port Washington Pirates. It's Jake Wall. Coach, thank you for joining us and welcome to W7 Media Day.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Just looking forward to the basketball season, talking some Pirate basketball with you guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, hopefully your ears have been burning all day. We've been I've a lot of coaches from the North Shore have brought up Port Washington and as a team to watch this year. And let's get right into it. I'm going to get the timer on and get us going right away here. So 10 and 15 and 22-23, 4 and 6. That's actually in the North Shore. I think we got that wrong. Let me just
I think it was 5 and 13 we finished.
Yeah, it was a long night last night, Coach, putting these graphics together.
Good.
Lost in the is that right? Watertown 55-36. Is that part right? Okay, at least I got one thing right.
That's correct.
So, but here's the really great news. I mean, you got a lot. All your top 5 scorers are back this year, and I think that's making a few coaches of the North Shore a little nervous.
Yeah, our program's been building for quite a number of years now. So 10 wins like we had last season was the most that we've had at our school since 2011. We more than just the 5 top scorers. We return our entire roster. Last year we only had freshmen and sophomores playing on our varsity roster. So the whole crew will be back. We're looking to see take the next step within our conference, which I'm very confident that's what's going to happen.
When you look back at 22-23, I mean, what stands out for you as far as the development and kind of the growth on this team?
Yeah, it's been kind of interesting over the last couple of seasons. If we break things down in like half-year segments from the time some of these girls were freshmen to where they were the second portion of last year, maturity is playing a big deal with where they're at. Just getting to a point where we're now becoming much more competitive with some of the top-level teams within our conference. And it's a challenge because of the competition that we're seeing on a nightly basis. But as we got into the second part last year, the confidence really started to go up. And the preparation from a practice perspective and being more attention to detail on a daily basis really went up too. So now a whole nother year under their belt, I'm looking forward to what that growth is going to be as we kick off their junior and now sophomore season for many of these girls.
You know, and I think kind of shame on us. I mean, I don't know that we've ever done a Port Washington girls basketball game on W7.
No, you haven't, but I'm hoping maybe we can work something out in the near future here just to showcase the talent of what we have. I really enjoy working with the group that we have, and there's a lot to be seen with what we have coming up, even this year and down the road with Port Washington girls basketball.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've been invited by you guys, by softball and by volleyball as well as your AD. So we're gonna make sure that we make that happen this year. So we're gonna come see you guys this year for sure. It's just a matter of where it's gonna be on the schedule. So I'll leak that right away. Port Washington girls basketball is coming to W7 in 23-24. We'll let you know the date and time on November 12th when we do our schedule reveal show. Let's get back into talking about some of your kids that are back. Coach, what's the need? What do we need to know about this team and about this group? And if you want to talk about individual players, that's fine. What should we know about this group?
Yeah, it's a group that's really stuck together through some, I guess, more challenging times, and that's what I'm most proud of with them. When I'll talk about our junior class for right now, we didn't have much of a youth program many years ago, so we had a lot of people really working hard to get our basketball program built back up. And so the group that is juniors right now is kind of the ones that have led the charge with that. So just proud of like the work ethic that they've been able to put in over many years here to just stick with it, even though things maybe didn't always go the way they wanted to as younger players. From an individual standpoint, Lillian Merrill is returning. She's a third-team all-conference player, and she's one of our post players. And then last year, Sierra Miller, she was voted our team MVP. She's our point guard. So they'll help lead us out from there. And then as we just go down the list, what's really special about our group, each person really has their own role that they want to continue to grow in. We have some players that can shoot from the outside with Savannah and Maggie, and Abby, Paige, and Hope are going to be more of our defenders. And then we'll see some growth from some of our younger players, Nor Marrow, another post player, and then Kaylee Elgin, Marietta Knepfel, and Peyton Keller are all going to help us out as well.
Looking at your schedule for 23-24, just opening up, you start on November 15th, which is a Wednesday at Sheboygan North, and then Sheboygan South comes to town, and then, you're going to play Oostburg. I mean, Oostburg's pretty good. I mean, that should be a fun challenge. And of course, Random Lake, that game for sure will be on W7 on November 21st. So, I mean, some challenges, but you got to love that. I'm sure the kids are looking forward to it.
Yeah, I was hoping with our schedule this year we get more non-conference games under our belt leading into the conference play, just because the more experience we can gain early on in the season,
sure.
I think they'll see just good as we get into the North Shore play. So for us, and just historically with their team the last couple of years, the more we play, the better we are. So we have girls that are playing multi-sports, so getting them back into the basketball groove as quickly as possible is going to be important for us.
When you kind of get together for that first practice, on November 6th, and you kind of get in that circle, I mean, what's the message that you're going to give this group, and what's the one thing you want them to take away from coming into the season that they should know? And I'm sure you've been talking about it already, but for our viewers, what will be that thing that you want them to really focus on?
Yeah, to be honest, I try to keep the message consistent as we go year to year, and we're going to take things one day at a time.
Sure.
And that's really suited us well, just based off of where our program had been, but like kind of in a building phase. Now we're getting to where we're going to be much more competitive on a game in and game out basis. If we just focus on what we can do each and every day, it's going to bode well. So it's going to be we're going to play as hard as we can for as long as we can, and be as disciplined as possible. And I think that's going to really, really help us as we get through the thick of it here in the North Shore.
Well, and that's a good segue into, I mean, thoughts on the conference this year. I mean, it's it's a gauntlet. I mean, you got some really good teams in that conference. With of course Homestead and Hartford and Cedarburg and the like. I mean, thoughts on the conference itself?
Yeah, North Shore, awesome challenge, and I think we're very fortunate to play in a conference like that where we get to see some of the top level every single game that we're playing. So you mentioned the teams right off the bat there, Homestead, Hartford, Cedarburg. That's where we want to get to. That's what, with our girls, we're going to continue to strive for that. So when it gets down to it in February, that we're ready to play with the best of them every single game we step out there.
And I know you talk about day to day, but when you look at that early going season, I mean, what do you look at as kind of the guideposts for saying, hey, we're advancing, we're continuing to mature and develop? What are the results that you're looking at specifically, or what's the process you look at?
Yeah, I think the big thing is just gonna be the tempo that we play at, and just as we mature more with our group, just being more disciplined. And that's just going to be something as simple as just taking care of the basketball, not turning it over as much, and rebounding. If we can do those things, we're going to give ourselves a lot of chances, because we do have a lot of good athletes that can get out and run a little bit. So we want to be able to showcase that. But if we can just tighten everything up a little bit, it's really, really going to help us as we go throughout the season.
Yeah, I'm excited for what you guys kind of got going. And again, talking to other coaches, I mean, your name has come up several times already today throughout the day. So, I mean, clearly there's some good things happening for you guys this year. Connor, I'm going to let you do the speed round and ask the player questions for Coach Wall.
All righty, perfect. I mean, practice is coming up a week from today. Who's first one there and last one to arrive?
Maggie Zerbis and Paige Schuneman are always there. Last one to leave. Are you saying last one to leave the gym or last one to show up to practice?
I'm going to say, let's put them on the spot. Last one to show up to the gym for practice.
Peyton Keller.
Okay. Only because I want her there early. Now I'm going to be the first one there. See? So now we've solved that problem. We're headed down that dark alley in Port there. Who are we taking with us to watch our six, Coach?
Paige Schuneman and Hope Gilhooly. All
righty. Fantastic. Who's that team mom that's kind of keeping everybody in check, making sure, everybody's got the right game jerseys on the road and stuff?
Sierra Miller.
Who's running the TikToks on game day and putting all that social media stuff together for you?
There's a lot of them, but we had some funny happenings over the summertime. So Marietta Knepfel and Peyton Keller, they're top-notch social media people.
Fantastic. And, one word to kind of, or a phrase that to describe your team and your group this year that you're going to kind of rally around.
Yeah, our year-to-year thing, embrace the grind, and that just helps keep our focus on the day-to-day process. And because we want to be the most hardworking, disciplined team in Wisconsin. So we'll continue to use that as we go throughout our season, each and every year.
Absolutely, especially in that always competitive North Shore.
Mhm.
It's a grind day in and day out.
Coach, one thing I really love about your team. I mean, there's a lot of contributors, right? I mean, there's no star, right? I mean, it's truly a team effort, and you can see that just from the figures itself. But it sounds like from what you're telling me, I mean, it's going to take. I always like to say, I don't need any one of you, but I need all of you, right?
Yeah, totally. And that's what I do enjoy about our team. And even as we've gotten to last year, like we really did do a great job within our program of like creating depth. And now we're finally at a point where we can play 9-10 people in a game. And the scoring was rather balanced last year. Anybody can get hot. So that's a good thing for us to have. And then we'll hopefully continue to build off of some of those numbers as we go throughout this year as well.
Well, you can give the players some a little bit of motivation early. We're going to see you in Random Lake on November 21st for sure. So
Awesome.
We're looking forward to team selfies and all that fun stuff with the girls and and getting them pumped up and ready to play for the non-conference portion. So, Coach, I want to thank you for your time and certainly for what you do for the Port kids and also for the girls around the state. We appreciate you and looking forward to seeing you and the girls in Sweet November. Thanks for joining today.
Yes, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Jake
Good luck
Wall,
this year.
Yeah,
Jake
thank you.
Wall, the head coach for Port Washington, has been our guest. We're going to take a break and come back with our next one. It is Jerry Schwen, the head coach at DeForest. Don't go anywhere. You're watching 20 through 23-24 W7 Girls Basketball Media Day live. We'll be back.
When I look into your eyes, I can see your love is strain. But darling, when I hold you, don't you know I feel the same?
W7 Live Girls Basketball Media Day on W7. 15 down, 20 to go. And the next one up is our buddy Jerry Schwen, head coach at DeForest Girls Basketball. Coach, welcome to W7 Media Day. Oh, hang on. I got to unmute you. Sorry, Coach. One more time. Okay. Welcome to W7 Media Day.
Well, thanks a lot for having me today. And certainly this is a great opportunity to showcase girls basketball in the state. So kudos to you guys.
Well, thank you. And we're thrilled to be able to talk to so many coaches and really it's here. You know, I mentioned this with I think Coach Veldkamp this morning from Sheboygan Christian. I mean, it's Christmas morning, right? I mean, the gifts are all there, ready to open, and the best part of the season is always, the anticipation of it, and what's laid out before us. And I'm excited to see what your squad's going to do this year. And of course, we'll see you guys at the Badger Challenge as we normally do. But I also got an invite from your AD to come out during the regular season for a game. He said he'd hook me up with some pretty good digs there. So looking forward to coming out and seeing you guys in the new field house.
Yeah, it's an exciting season. We have certainly a little bit of a change with the Badger Conference switching to the large and small divisions. So that'll bring not a lot of new teams necessarily, but a little bit of configuration in how the conference schedule will work this year. So we're excited to compete and certainly excited for the season ahead.
Well, let's talk about 22-23 a little bit first. 18-8 overall, 10-5 in the conference fourth place. And a really tough loss to Monona Grove in the regional finals, 46-45. I'm sure that was tough for the kids and probably tough for the coaches too. Those are great games to play in, but boy, you sure hate being on the wrong side of the scoreboard on that thing.
Yeah, we had a team I thought that grew a lot last year. We had actually 4 kids in the program coming back from ACL injuries last year.
Yes.
So the timetable of the season and how things came together during the season. I thought we competed really well against, all teams in our conference, but tough way to end the season. And we really went back and forth with Monona Grove. And hopefully that's kind of fueled some of our off-season work to, be a little bit better and certainly clean up some of the areas that we need to. And knowing that we certainly are going to have to fill some holes with Jalen Durline and Aspen Kelleher graduating. Both played on the varsity team there for Jalen for 4 years and Aspen for 3. But then we had some other role players, Mia Kuipers and Macy Bartles, who were, really did a nice job of kind of being the glue kids within the team.
Yeah, thoughts, coming in. So I want to just mention, I was so impressed with Jalen Durline, just, the injury that she had. And I know there were others, but, I got to talk to Jalen a little bit and just seeing her come back and being able to have a strong senior year was really great. And it just goes to show, I mean, to me, just, how strong these kids are. And I think sometimes kids kind of get a knock for, being soft or snowflakes or whatever. But, I'll tell you what, we got a lot of really great, strong, gritty kids in this state that love to compete, love to fight, and get up every morning, go to practice at 6 o'clock in the morning, and and are excited for not just game days but practices as well. And I think sometimes that gets overlooked.
Yeah, you never really want to see a kid go through injuries, and I think Jalen had some back issues her sophomore and junior year. But then tearing her ACL in the sectional semifinal against Reedsburg a couple years back, it really, she just really was able to persevere. It seemed like every time she was had an obstacle, kind of was able to bounce back from that. And I see that a lot within a lot of the kids we have in our program right now. We haven't, I'm not looking for any sympathy or anything like that. We just certainly have had our fair share of challenges. And I think that's made our program overall stronger. Just to be there for each other and then certainly competing with each other as well. So that's no different with this year's group. Identity-wise,
Coach, I mean, when you look at and looking ahead to this year, what's the identity of this team that you're trying to kind of craft and trying to build within this group? What do you see there?
Yeah, I mean, we have 3 returning starters. Rylan Oberg's been a 2-year all-conference performer the last 2 years, first team all-conference. Jada Kelleher had a really just all-around jump in her game last year, I thought, and has put in a tremendous amount of time this offseason. She was honorable mention all-conference last year. Both Jada and Rylan we're at about 11 points per game, but certainly impacted the way we play on the defensive end probably as much. And then Allie Armstrong, honorable mention all-conference kid last year as well. So we've got overall we have 11 returning letter winners from last year, and we have a really nice group of freshmen and sophomores who I think have the ability to compete for some playing time and certainly fill roles as well. That being said, as much as I kind of have stressed a little bit of some experience that we have returning, I think you look at teams like Beaver Dam, Monona Grove, Oregon, Watertown, they're all feeling pretty good about what they have coming back as well. So, and I haven't even mentioned Wanakee has certainly, a team that can compete, and then Milton and Fort Atkinson. So this year we get to see every one of those teams twice, and I'm looking for some improvement throughout the season, but certainly I want us to kind of find our niche within that group, because there's so many good teams that I just want us to be able to compete at as high a level as we possibly can.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season. Just looking at that, the Badger large. I mean, Oregon also in there. Oregon's going to be solid as they always are. Coach Walmsley does a nice job over there. So I mean, I there's not a lot of just where you say, okay, well, we know we got 2 wins there, and we know you don't really have a lot of that in this group. I mean, you're gonna have to bring it every night.
Yeah, certainly. I don't think this is a conference this year where maybe one team runs away with it and goes undefeated. They might have the conference champion might have a couple losses this year, and I guess it's who kind of can bring that on a week when you have 2 road games or something of that nature, that we have a little bit of challenge built in. So, yeah, we're definitely looking forward to this year's season, and I think this group is built to compete. But we're going to learn a lot, like I said early on, especially throughout some of our younger players and how quickly they can acclimate themselves to the varsity level.
What are you most excited about? Just from the the kind of inside baseball part of it, what really kind of gets you up in the morning and say, "Boy, I can't wait to get to see this or to watch this happen"?
Well, to be honest, it's been a little while since we've had a kid that's not going on to play college basketball really right now. So
yeah,
kind of dating back to probably my first year and the 15-16 year, we had a really strong senior class. We had kind of kids that are going to play, either WEAC or Division II or Division I level. And this year we have certainly some really committed kids. And it's not really headlined by, I wouldn't say, any one kid like sometimes you have. And that's what gets me excited about this group, because they might not have a lot of notoriety right away off the bat, but I think we're going to earn some respect throughout the course of the season.
Speaking of that, I got to just mention, Aaliyah Grundle, just what a great kid at DeForest, and also a great career at Whitewater too. I mean, she's I think she's exceeded what anybody's expectations were. She's played so well over there.
Yeah, we're very proud of. I mean, Maggie Troush and Aaliyah both start at Whitewater. Sam
Maggie's
Schaefer.
Yep, that's right.
Sam Schaefer starts at Stout, conference champs last year as well with Whitewater, and then Jalen's playing this year at UW Parkside. So we have 4 kids that certainly have had that path where they definitely want to play beyond high school, and that's what I love about high school sports. It's kind of a combination of all those goals coming together.
Yeah, for sure.
Just kind of being able to work.
What do you got circled on your schedule? Like, obviously you got the conference games, but I mean, what really stands out for you on the on the upcoming schedule where you're like, hey, this will be a really good opportunity for us to kind of measure where we are?
I think that mid-season tournament that we host this year again, we have Hartford, us, McFarland, and Sun Prairie West. playing kind of a 4-team tournament. Yeah. So that's a good measuring stick, I think, in addition to our conference season. But excited for the kids. We're going to be one of a couple teams, I think, that are this year going to play at the Fiserv Forum. So end of February 13th, I think we're going to play Sauk Prairie there. Be a really good experience for our squad. And I think that's something that they'll look forward to and be memorable about their high school career as well.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to switch to Connor, and Connor's going to do the speed round here with us. So Connor, take it away.
Hey, do we got that midseason tournament on the W7 schedule,
Well,
Gary?
it looks like it's the same time as the Watertown tournament. I think you're going to be in Tennessee, and I'll be in Watertown. So I don't think we can. I don't think we can make that happen this year. But
okay, all right. Well, I hate to
that's a blockbuster though. I mean, that's 4 really good teams.
Yeah,
Coach, you're supposed to pad those things with teams that you can get easy dubs on and get the tournament trophy. I mean, you're doing it wrong.
I'd rather know where we're at the end of the season. I'd rather know we've been tested.
There you go. Yeah, get a midseason measurement right there at the Christmas break. But Coach, coming up on first day of practice, who's first one in the gym and who's the last one taking their sweet time out of the locker room, making sure the shoes are tied, the hair's done right?
I would think that's definitely Jada, who will probably turn the lights on for us that first morning and make sure everything's ready to go. She's been a really good leader this summer and gotten things off to a good start. Rylan Oberg tends to kind of take her time periodically, so we have to get her moving. But 2 really committed kids for us.
Fantastic. Who's the team mom on the group, taking care of everybody, making sure everybody's got the right shoes and the right color uniforms when you head on the road?
Yeah, that's Sophie Eisel. She's another senior who we expect to contribute at a really high level this year. I think she has everything organized for the squad so far this year. She's got poster pictures and everything else going. So really, really good kid, really organized.
Fantastic. That one might be the secret weapon to the entire season right there. Headed down a dark alley there in DeForest, or who knows, maybe we head to the Fiserv Forum. Who we taking with us, Coach, in that dark alley?
Man, I'd take the whole team for sure. Obviously to help.
All right.
Hopefully we have each other's back.
All right. Well, I'm gonna kind of put everybody on notice then. I think we're gonna need a team picture, Gary, kind of, team enforcer picture in that dark alley or behind the school or something,
Well, that's and Connor, I mean, to tag onto that, I mean, that's one thing I just love about DeForest athletics. I mean, it's a blue collar, bring your lunch pail to work type of group. I mean, they just they love to compete. They play hard. It's not about stars. It's really just about accomplishing something together. So I'm excited to come back out there. It's been too long since I've been over there. So for girls basketball, so we're excited to come over and do a game. So I'm letting that leak right now. DeForest girls basketball will be on W7 in 23-24. So we're looking forward to that. Find out where and when on November 12th during our schedule reveal show, Sunday, November 12th at 8 o'clock. So make sure you check that out to find out when we're coming to DeForest. Coach, I want to thank you for your time and your friendship. I appreciate it, and just the support that you've given us over these few years. So one quick last story. When we first started way back, like 2017, I reached out to Jerry and the AD over there and said, hey, can we come and do a game? They didn't even know us from Adam. They're like, yeah, sure, come on over and do it. And that was the holiday tournament probably 6-7 years ago. And that was part of the launch of W7. So I've never forgotten that, and I appreciate all your support that you've given us, and look forward to seeing you and the girls this year, Coach.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot for all you guys do.
Jerry
Thanks, Coach. Good luck this year.
Has been our guest on Girls Basketball Media Day. We're going to step aside for a few minutes and come back, and Connor Du Bois will take the lead, and we're going to go into the nest with Jeremy Boileau and the head coach, the head coach of De Pere Girls Basketball coming up next. You're watching Girls Basketball Media Day on W7 Live. We'll be back.
When I look into your eyes, I can see your love is strain. But darling, when I
W7 Live, the coaches reveal, or not coaches, schedule reveal show. Coaches Media Day here on W7. Back in the nest with head coach Jeremy Boileau. Coach, you're going to have to keep it down a little bit, giving out the secrets. I know Sarah Rohde's right down the hall from you.
Not too far away, just off the gym.
Absolutely. Always good to catch up. I was over there for volleyball, and it was weird walking in the gym and not seeing you and some of the rest of the kids and coaching staff, but excited to get back over to the nest this year, and don't want to relive old memories from last year, but just touch base a little bit on last year and the kind of growth and depth you guys were to kind of establish for this year.
Yeah, we were fortunate 2 years ago to make it to the state tournament. We lost a big senior group to help us get there. Claire Bjorgi was kind of our returning starter into that group with experience, and as all of you know, she unfortunately tore ACL, wasn't able to play last year. So we entered last year with a very young and inexperienced team, no starters from the previous year. And there was some tough growing pains early in the season, but found a way to come together and, finish the season on a strong note, finishing second in conference against one of probably the best team in the state of Wisconsin, in Notre Dame. So definitely to be in that position, how we started and inexperienced, a lot to build on for the future of this year.
Yeah, I was re-looking at that schedule from last year, and realistically, you guys went on the road, lost at Bayport, but that whole second half of the schedule was in the win column, with the exception of Notre Dame, and struggles at the beginning, but really caught fire and found some things that worked out, and then this year you get to add Claire back into the mix, obviously, and that's gonna help tremendously in having her leadership, and I'm sure she's learned a thing or two sitting on the bench next to you and Todd and the rest of the staff. But talk about coming into this year now and kind of some of the goals. Obviously, second last year in the conference, but what are some goals for this year and taking that kind of next step forward with that added depth?
Just find a way to compete in every game, and see where that takes us. Obviously, every team's got the goal to win conference, get to state. We'll see where our journey ends us, but we want to make sure we're competing every game we play and finding the proper growth that we need to as a group. Obviously, Claire didn't play last year, so we got a big group of players that need to find within that. Obviously, we had some summer experience together as a group, but as the season gets going, I'm excited to have her integrated with the group that we have and some young girls as well. And I feel like that we can continue to grow and compete. It's going to put us in good position for the entire season and hopefully at the end of the season as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I just saw Sarah trying to pop into the to the waiting room and listen in. That's her mentality. Always trying to get a little easy, cheap scout in here. I mean, we're not even officially into the season yet, and she's already trying to listen in. But that's the fun, competitive nature, and it was definitely fun a couple of years ago when both of you guys were at state, obviously. But I mean. This is a very, it's been fun being with you guys kind of over the last year and a half, 2 years, but you talked about adding Claire in and all that stuff, but some of there's other key pieces, like you said, that have added. And how do you see kind of Sophie growing into her role as a senior as well as KK Anderson?
Yeah, I mean, Sophie, we struggled to find ways to score last year, and we kind of went through Sophie from an inside presence and, really took a big step in her growth as a player and her development within our offense as well. So I'm excited to, have her get going her senior year. From her inside end, for being a post player, she's got a shot in the perimeter as well. So she can work inside and out, not just be an inside presence. KK is probably going to be the smallest girl on the floor, but she's got a big heart, plays with a ton of energy and speed, and doesn't back down from anyone. She definitely helps the tempo we want from an offensive and defensive standpoint. And then we got some girls like Egan Borowski, Jaden Shaselsik, Abby Tulsel, girls that took good steps in their progress as a player last season, and expecting big things out of those players as they get going and being able to get to the rim. Great shooters from the perimeter, and kind of just excited to get all those pieces of the puzzle together as a group this year.
Yeah, I look ahead to the schedule a little bit this year. I'm sure, as you have already, but West De Pere, that battle of the bridge early on in the season this year, and just game number 4, but some another key non-conference at Kimberly, Germantown back on the schedule again. That's always a good one. I'm sure you guys are finally excited to square off with Germantown without the other KK that everybody knows around the state, and KK Arnold. That'll be nice to see them without her.
Yeah, definitely. We got a good non-conference schedule that I feel like is going to help prepare us for our conference, and then also kind of what we need to be as a team as we get going towards the end of the year. The bar is set at Notre Dame. I mean, there's not a better team, in the state that does what they do from offensive, defensive standpoint. Like, you got to be ready and not taking possessions off. And so, even though we got some good tests here in non-conference, the conference that we have ahead is going to help prepare us to become a better team as well.
Oh, I wholeheartedly agree with that. I mean, I think last year you guys came out on the right side of some of those grinded out games. I know Todd likes to use the word grit. That was his big thing, was that grit, and it really kind of showed last year at that second half of the season where you struggled early on, but then came out on the right side of the scoreboard. I think that Southwest was just a dogfight of a game last year, and several of them were for you actually. But what do you see out of the conference this year? Do you see more of that, or a little bit of more of a separation between top and bottom?
Well, Notre Dame's on their own category. I think everyone could say that. But I think we got some teams that's going to compete. We have some new coaches in our conference as well that are good coaches, and they got players that are playing hard, and they're going to do some great things. I really think that Manitowoc's, you got some players that took a big step last year. Bayport, McDermott, when you got the height that they have and some really good skilled players around her, they could put some fear into some teams as well. And Green Bay Southwest, Pulaski being there, and some other girls that can get things going. I mean, even the teams that didn't list. I mean, they have players that play hard, good coaches, and when you have that, you got to come ready to play. And it's going to be a fun year to get going with the conference and see who steps up and ahead.
Absolutely. Real quick, we'll just hit a little quick speed round here with some questions. But who's going to be that team mom this year for you guys? Kind of making sure everybody's in check and making sure they got all the shoes tied and right color jerseys on the road with you.
I'd say Layla Vengrowski. She's a senior this year, and she's done a great job through her time here, just trying to include the younger players, even when she wasn't a senior, just trying to include them around and making sure they're doing the right things. And definitely, no doubt, there's our team mom.
Fantastic. Who's going to be the first one at practice there on Monday? You guys doing 2-a-days, or who's showing up first for practice, and who do you got to drag out of the locker room if it's a morning practice and say, time to get out of bed and get on the line and let's run a few? Oh boy.
I'd say Jane Shaselsic, first one there. She's a responsible kid that just seems to be on top of her stuff a lot of times. Dragging it out, man. I know Sophie Hafman loves her sleep, so that one I'm probably going to go on that one.
There you go. I think
I got to be smart
Janie
about those
that.
2 days too early in the morning.
Right.
Yeah, I think Janie gets that from her dad, and pretty great family there. What I'll save these last two for last, but Dark Alley, who are we going down that Dark Alley in De Pere there behind the old De Pere Cinema? Who are we taking with us to kind of watch our six there, Coach?
I think KK Anderson. I mean, she's sneaky. She'll run up and ahead, and if there's something bad there, she can quickly get back to let us all know what's going on. I'll go with her sneakiness and being able to get through it.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely is. She will, like you said, she'll be the smallest one on the court, but she always has her nose in everything. She's coming down with them loose ball rebounds and just always a part of every play, no matter what. One word that you would use to describe the culture, not Todd, that hashtags everything under the sun on the Twitter.
I'd say Redbird. I mean, that's, to me, it means 4 pillars in our program that, I came up with when I first came in to be the head coach. What was our program going to be about? So I'm cheating a little bit here. But we talk about these things as not only becoming a better basketball player, but being good at anything you want to be good at. And that means our effort, our attitude, being accountable, and our investment in what we're doing. And so Redbird it is. That's what it means.
Fantastic. And who's running the game day TikToks or the the Instagram reels on the social media for you guys?
Player wise, probably Egan Borowski is probably on top of that stuff. But from a team standpoint and coach standpoint, we leave that to her dad, T-Buck, to handle all of our great graphics that we do to expose our players and highlight them and make the program.
Yeah. So the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, per se, that in that family with the social media. But Coach, we're excited to be back in the nest and actually going to drop a little nugget here for you guys, and maybe a little motivation to get the kids through that first week of practice. But we are coming opening week when you guys. What do I got? Yeah, you guys are hosting Oshkosh West.
Awesome.
So Thursday, November 16th, count on us. Save us a spot over there in the corner. And as you guys take on the Wildcats of Oshkosh West. How about that?
Awesome, man. I appreciate all you guys do at W7 and, and giving us the time in our program to highlight us. So thank you for everything.
Absolutely. Thanks for everything you've done for us too, Coach, over the last 2 years and opening that up, and as well as the athletic director over there. Just fantastic. Everything's been first class all the time. So we appreciate it, and we'll let you get on the rest of your day. And it's been fun catching up.
Sounds good. Take care. Thank you.
Coach. Head coach Jeremy Boyer with the Redbirds. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back.
When I look into your eyes, I can see your love is strain. But darling, when I hold you, don't you know I feel the same? Nothing lasts forever.
W7 Live. The 23-24 W7 Girls Basketball Media Day is back. And boy, have we got a guest for you. It is the one. It is the only. We call her Mergatron. It is Mary Merg, the head coach at Wauwatosa East. Coach, great to see you.
Great to see you too, Gary. Just a heads up on my side. I'm hoping my connectivity is okay, but if it's a little shaky, just letting you know.
No, I think you're fine. I think you look good. Everything sounds good. So I think we're good to go.
Thank you. Awesome.
How's life, Mergatron?
Life is great. I'm eagerly waiting for a week from today. I'm sure most basketball coaches can't wait to get going. Staying up at night, not really thinking about plays and strategies instead of falling asleep right away. That sleep is a little bit going down as we get closer to the season, but I'm doing really well.
Well, that's great. Let's jump right in. I got you on the clock, and let's get started. So 22-23, 15-11. Your program. I know you got some challenges when you took over, but it continues to rise every year. It's kind of like that boat. You see it rising up, and I love. I know we don't do a lot of your games, but I certainly keep an eye on you guys and love to see the progress on the program. 8-8 in the GMC last year, 5th place, but a sectional semifinal berth. A tough loss to a really good Pius team, but great progress for you guys to get to sectionals. I'm sure that had to be definitely a high point for the team and for the program last year. Give me your kind of hot take on last year and thoughts on 22-23.
Yeah, last year was a really fun year. We had a great senior class, great in people and great in leaders too as well. That senior class has been through a lot. Where you hit the nail on the head that we've been a program that hasn't always been successful in terms of wins. That senior class, their sophomore year only won 3 games. Their freshman year only won 5 games. And so it was a fun year. It was phenomenal that class could then end on a regional title. And then we had some help with the class of 2026, which was a nice addition to the team last year with me taking, I think we had 6 freshmen on the team last year. And that's pretty uncommon for a varsity team, but those 6 freshmen really contributed in practice and in games. And honestly, it was just a great team environment to be a part of. It was a really fun year.
Well, and it's one of those things, right, where you got to get your seniors to buy into, hey, we're not going to be, where we want to be by the end of the year, but you're going to help us kind of build that, that foundation, right? And I know Olivia did that and Sarah as well. And I know how proud you are of those girls and what they contributed in their time at Tosa East. And the success that you guys have this year, I think, is a direct reflection on what they contributed and what they sacrificed during their time, in high school.
100%. I totally agree. Not a lot of people would stick and stay with basketball after losing to a GMC opponent by 20 and then going on Friday, losing by 40, getting up the next day. And, it's a testament to them, their resilience. And to be honest, I don't think not a lot of coaches would have stayed, in situations where the outcome was kind of meek. And so I think we really bonded together, both that senior class and myself, and we really created a great bond. And I think they helped us kind of put our program into the right direction.
Well, I think you did a great job of getting the kids and the families in the community to buy in. Like, hey, this isn't a 1-year fix. I mean, it takes a while to build what you want to build. And, I got to believe you're super excited about this year. I mean, you got 3 of your top 5 scorers back, of course. Micaiah Litza, she's one of our big followers on social media, so I'm a big fan of hers as well. And Emma Close, 9.9 points per game. Audrey Sellinger, 7 points per game. I mean, you got some real good pieces coming back this year to make a good run. And I think the GMC, I mentioned this earlier, and I want to make sure I say this the right way this time. I think that the conference itself is as wide open as it's ever been for somebody to. I don't think anybody's going to run away with it. I think there's opportunities for several of the programs in the conference to have a successful year, and we may be looking at a new champion this year that we haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, I'm really excited. My 6 years a part of the GMC, this is definitely the most wide open it's been. Personally happy that some kids have graduated. Feels nice.
No KK
But
this year, right?
I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm really excited, and I'm excited for our conference, and it's wide open, but it's still competitive, right? Where, I don't think people realize that, the last 4 state championships, a GMC team was in the state,
Isn't that
and last year
crazy?
we had 2. Yeah, and so we were playing some of the top teams in the state in Division 1, and Tosa East, not many people realize we're actually a Division 2. And so we're playing a bunch of Division 1 teams constantly, and I think that definitely helps us as we prepare for playoffs. But the GMC, it's open, but it's still really competitive, so I think it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, getting into the conference a little bit. I mean, who do you look out for really this year? And again, I think it's kind of everybody. But I mean, is there a couple teams maybe on your radar like, wow, we really got to watch out for these guys?
The first thing that comes to mind is Menominee Falls. I
Couldn't
think
agree more.
Derek
You
and
hit
I,
it right on the head. I think you're 100%
Derek and I,
right.
we know what we're in for the next couple of years. For the next 2 years, I think we understand, and we went 1-1 with them last year.
Yep.
It was a very close game. That second game, it was very back and forth at their place. So I think, they did a really good job over the off season to get better. And I think we did too as well. So I think that's going to be a really fun one. And then I think Brookfield East definitely still has parts to its team,
Yes.
with Shea Kelly's consistent, they have Maya back too. I think they're going to still be looking for ways to produce. But I still think they're definitely going to be competitive. So I would say those two would be some of the top teams.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. I think you hit it right on the head. I mean, those are, Falls especially. I think they're kind of a sleeping giant this year. We'll see if you guys poke them and wake them up or what. But it's going to be different for you guys this year. I think in that you're not really. I mean, you're more of the hunted this year than the hunter. I think people are looking at Tosa East saying, this is a team that's going to finish in the top half of the conference, and it'd be a nice win for us to come into their place or have them come in our place and take a W. So I think that's something you got to be aware of this year. It's kind of a mindset shift for your kids, isn't it?
For sure. It definitely is. And, it's a mindset for the kids. It's a mindset for me too, and how do we shift to that? Luckily, the majority of our team, we're going to have, I think, 7 or 8 class of 2026ers on our team, sophomores. And these sophomores have been historically in positions of being the hunted. So I think they are confident in their abilities, and I think that helps me. And I think that kind of their confidence radiates onto me. And obviously I think it's going to be a growing year too, as well, with the lack of leadership that we just lost. And I think really with our team, it's going to be coming down to close games, whether we win the close games or we lose the close games. I think this conference is going to come down to those games that are decided by 5 points or less. And it is going to be very interesting. But, I'm really excited and curious of kind of how our team approaches the season and where we kind of go from here.
And of course you're a school counselor at Tosa East. So, how do you kind of help these kids develop leadership? Because I mean, this class has to grow up pretty fast. This 26th class, what are things that you do to help them, grow and mature, not just skills wise, but mentally as well, to get ready for they're gonna play a big role this year. I mean, it's a big jump.
Yeah, I think that 8th grade to being right on varsity is a huge jump. And, I think every freshman adjusted at different times last year, which was kind of nice, but it was an adjustment, right? And now this year, it's a different adjustment of that leadership component. And I always read a book with my captains. And honestly, this year, we're just reading a book club with everybody. So everybody's a part of the book club this year. And obviously, we read a really great leadership book that I love called The Twin Thieves, that the Wauwatosa coach, shout out to him, Coach Witt, introduced me to. And so I think it's going to be a lot of growing, and growing comes with experience. Growing comes with failing at times. And I think this year is going to be a big growth year, and just going to kind of set us up for future.
What's if you had to pick a word for the identity of this team that's coming in, what word would you pick to say, this really kind of personifies this group this year? Do you know it yet?
Man, that is tough. That is almost like my word is unknown.
Yeah.
Because I really don't know, and it's going to be a fun team. It's been a great summer and fall league with them. They've been pretty successful in those situations, but in terms of our identity, it's still not necessarily formed. And I think that for me as a coach is probably the most unknown I've ever been going into a season.
Which is scary.
So yeah,
also. It's good and scary, right?
Yes. Good and scary. But at the end of the day, we have great kids. They're great kids. They're great people. They work hard. I mean, I open up the gym before school starts multiple days a week. I have kids that haven't missed one morning workout. They work hard. They want to be there. And it's truly I'm just grateful to be in this position that I am. So
let's do a speed round here. So I'm gonna ask you a question. You tell me who the player is that personifies this. So let's start with who. If I'm walking down a dark alley in Wauwatosa somewhere that I shouldn't be, and I got to take somebody to have my 6, who is that player?
This was probably the hardest one that I was going to answer because I knew my answer from last year. Shout out to Sarah Murdoch. This year, I would say is probably Cassie. Cassie's a phenomenal softball player. Hopefully she has a bat in her hand too. So I'm going to go with Cassie, our junior, our lone junior.
I agree with you 100%. I know Cassie. She is that person. Yes. I would be okay going down a dark alley if Cassie was with me. I'd be good with that. Yes. Who's the TikTok princess or queen? Who organizes the social media and does the dances and all that fun stuff?
That would be a senior Amelia. So they always pass down the Instagram account to the next upperclassman. Amelia does a great job of posting our open gyms and random photos of everybody, usually not looking their best,
Right.
But that would definitely
those are the best
be
to
Amelia.
post. Yeah, those are definitely the best ones
Exactly.
to post.
Exactly.
What about first one to practice? Who's going to be there to turn the lights on and say, okay, I'm the first one here? Who is that?
That's definitely Sadie Kubaki. Sadie is gonna definitely turn heads this year. I'm really looking forward to her. But if I was like Sadie, I'm gonna be at the gym by 6 a.m. She'll be there at 6 a.m.
Love it.
She is a workhorse. Definitely Sadie, 100%.
And who's the team mom? Who makes sure that people have the right jersey and the right socks and have their shoes laced up right? I mean, who's the mother hen of the group?
Mother hen would definitely be another senior, Maddie Tucker. Definitely just like the kind, empathetic, caring, the one that everybody goes to talk to. Definitely Maddie Tucker on that end.
What are you most excited about this year, Merg? When you're laying in bed at night trying to sleep and you can't because you're excited, what's that one thing you're like, boy, I cannot wait for this?
Besides the girls itself, I'm really excited to see what we can do. I think we do have 3 returning varsity starters in Micaiah, Emma, and Audrey. But we have a ton of other great kids too. We got some depth, and I'm really excited, to be honest, about our offense. I think our defense is something that we're going to continue to work on, but man, we got some kids that can put the ball in the hoop and put that ball in the hoop in really creative ways, can hit it from outside, and I'm really excited to kind of see how good they can be, gain that confidence, and kind of see what happens, and I think the biggest thing for us is to stay healthy. I mean, we've already lost one kid to a knee injury. Ellie Depre's out all season. And so if we can just kind of stay healthy, that's going to be a big component too.
Well, I'm excited to see what you guys have in store this year. And I'm going to give a spoiler alert. Wauwatosa East girls basketball is coming to W7 in 23-24. So get ready for that. Find out when and where on November 12th at 8 o'clock when we do our schedule reveal show. Merg, I know you'll be watching.
I will be watching. And Gary, I just want to say, I've no time frame how much W7 has grown. from just kind of starting out in the GMC area to really in the Milwaukee to now like the literally entire state of Wisconsin knows who you are and understands just the value that you guys bring. So from the last 7 years, it's been pretty remarkable, and kudos to you guys.
Well, I appreciate that, Mary. And, one thing we try to never forget is where we got our start. And you were a big part of that, helping us kind of, get into the conference and get into doing what we do. So that's never forgotten and always appreciated. Enjoy the upcoming season. We're looking forward to seeing you in person and seeing your kids. Tell them we've got a big selfie coming up together. So have them ready for that. And looking forward to a sweet
Awesome.
November. Mary Berg has been our
Awesome. Thank
special
you,
guest.
Gary.
You bet, Coach. We'll be right back with the W7 North homeschool, Notre Dame, and Sarah Rohde with Connor Du Bois coming up next. You're watching the Girls Basketball Media Day on W7.
When I look into your eyes, I can see your love is strain. But darling, when I hold you, don't you know I feel the same?
W7 Live back here with W7 North Homeschool and three-time defending state champion, also the Wisconsin High School Coach of the Year, Sarah Rohde from the Green Bay Notre Dame. Sarah, welcome to the Coach's season preview show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw you trying to jump on during Coach's Boilu's a little segment, trying to get that early scout in with the peer.
You know what? I was checking it out, but I didn't think it was going to go. I hope I did not interrupt his call because I thought I could wait in the chat room, but then I'm like, good. I didn't get to test it out on Sunday night, so I didn't know if it was like a typical WIA conference call where you just hop in, but yeah, I'll get plenty of scouting on the pier in the future.
Right. I mean, you probably already got 6 games on them already, but I mean, let's go back to last year. Obviously, an incredible season, 29-1. Kind of opened the year with that loss down there in Pewaukee, and you got them coming back this year. That's almost kind of become like a conference matchup for you guys. Get to play them twice a year a little bit, but go back to last season and the one senior Hope Barrington and everybody coming back but Hope. But what was last season like and setting you up for this year?
Yeah, well, obviously last year was a lot of fun and we have a lot of those girls coming back. Hope will be a big loss for us because she just did so many of the intangible things as a senior. But yeah, I feel really good about our squad coming in. We have 5 seniors coming back, 3 juniors, and a couple of sophomores who are going to, work really hard for us and give us valuable minutes.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about some of those seniors. I mean, everybody knows Gracie Gresh and Trista Feta. But Sydney Whitehouse, I mean, a household name too, if you're in the FRCC, and obviously if you're a Pewaukee Pirate, just an absolute killer, especially in those state tournament games. But what are some other names maybe kind of make a splash this year and kind of get on that scouting report a little bit for teams?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you, Connor. Like, obviously, Sydney, Trista, Gracie, there are 3 studs for sure coming back. Peyton Musil, I think, is going to have a really good year for us. She has improved a lot this summer, gotten a lot stronger. I think, obviously, just a junior, a year older, a little bit more mature. She's going to have a great year. To be honest, I feel good about everybody on our squad. Morgan Goki, Kendall Ronsman, Paige DeMullen, they've all had great subbers, like 2 juniors in our Paige as our senior. Hannah Grayson actually tore her ACL, so she'll be out. I was really looking forward to seeing her play. But she, she did that during volleyball season, so that was a bummer. But then Kaya Waldrop and Destiny as our sophomores. Everybody has improved, so I feel pretty confident with everybody on our team and the minutes they give us and just, really how hard they all just work.
Absolutely. I mean, starting the season off with Pewaukee there on, Saturday, November 18th. That game may or may not be on W7. I can't for sure say or not, but
you could
good
confirm
chance
it.
being the home school and just down the road, probably going to be on there. But another non-conference schedule, just kind of stacked and loaded, along with a couple of trips out of state, and how those come about.
Yeah, we've been trying to go out of state for, the past 3 years, back when Samuel Pitchko was a senior. And then COVID happened, so that kind of just delayed everything. But this year it's finally happened. We're going down to Nashville for a tournament, which we're really excited about. 3 games down in Nashville, Tennessee. Still waiting for the schedule, so that'll be nice whenever that does get, compiled and sent out. And then we're going to Chicago at New Trier High School for a Grow the Game tournament, January 6th. And we'll be playing Alton, Illinois, they were the state runner-up in their top division in Illinois, and they return everybody on their squad this year. So it looks like they're a really athletic, fast team. So I think that'll provide a nice challenge for us as well.
Absolutely. I mean, last year you guys kind of went down the Chicago area. I think played kind of similar D2 Division One comparable state champion. They ended up winning the state championship in Illinois, but you guys kind of ran away with that one. Kind of a little bit of a shocker, but we're hoping to make the trip down to Tennessee with you guys. I'm waiting on that schedule too. See what it shakes out. I don't know. I might try to make it over to the Music City Bowl too. See if I can't get that on the W7 expense report, but we'll see. But
what do you think, Gary?
Absolutely, all for it.
Yeah, why not? Right? Let's just put it all on the W7.
Pile it on.
Report. Why not? But
it's all a write-off anyway, right?
Right, exactly. But and then Hortonville kind of at the end of the year, kind of a nice little test for both squads, kind of heading into the state tournament push. Is that another one kind of circled on the schedule outside of that non-conference schedule?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, besides our conference, yeah, I think Pewaukee is always a great test to start the year. I know, like, I feel like that's always such a tough first game for us. And just because you don't really have a true scout on them, you know what I mean? It's all gonna hearsay about the team dynamics and whatnot. But then Hortonville, absolutely, they'll have Pepler back. I mean, they're gonna have so many good kids. I think they have a pretty decent freshman squad. So that will be a great test for us, like heading into tournament time as well, because I mean, that was a game where we were down by a lot to start last year, and we fought our way back into overtime and won. But that's always a battle every year we play.
Yeah, I think at one point you're down 16 or 18 in the early part of that second half, and it was just kind of a slow grind back to it. And we'll see what happens this year. Of course, Pepler will be back, and that'll be exciting for sure. Thoughts on the conference this year? I mean, obviously you guys have kind of run the table the last 2 years a little bit at the top, but you got a good team in De Pere and head coach Jeremy Boileau probably sitting down the hall from you there. But who else is kind of going to stand out or you see contending in that top half of the conference?
Yeah, I mean, I think I do think our conference we have a lot of just different coaches as well this year, so just some changes in philosophies and like what might be happening. Obviously, yes, De Pere will have a lot of their players back. Southwest, I think, will have some strong seniors on their team that will give them some depth. Bayport, I know, has some injuries, so that, I think they would definitely be, a conference contender, but that obviously hurts them, like anytime players go down with ACLs, that's never anything you want to deal with. And then Preble has everybody returning for the most part. I know a few girls have, moved from different places, but Lindsay's there, and probably just, I think, hopefully just trying to, get her culture established, and she's been there for a while now. So those girls are probably a little bit more used to her and her style and everything, what she's expecting. So I think, Schwaben, again, they have a new coach as well. So it'll just be interesting to see just the different styles and how everybody is, adjust to that and what everybody has to bring as well. So I don't know. I guess you still can never really just, take nights off in conference because you just know each other at a different level too. So it's you see each other so much more and you play each other. You just know the personnel at a different level as well. So can never just assume anything's going to happen.
Absolutely. Talk, I mean, a little bit, give you a chance here to kind of brag on your coaching staff. I mean, obviously, at one point in time, your husband was on it, but now he's got to run babysitting duties up in the stands. But just talk about the Campbells and other ones. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Caitlin.
Yeah, Caitlin, Morgan. Just the influence and the impact. Obviously, those are kids that have played at such a high level, and the great mentorship that they have on a day-to-day basis with the kids. I mean, obviously, you guys have kind of started your own little pipeline to UW Oshkosh a little bit. it's like Notre Dame South, or you guys are like UWO North. I don't know which way it works out, but just the mentorship and the impact that those people have on the program as a whole.
Yeah, I think a lot of our girls have a great relationship with our assistant coaches. And I mean, I feel very lucky to have them on staff because they are like so influential in just the entire process and present with these girls all the time. So that's always been, huge, from my perspective, honestly, as a head coach. Like, I couldn't ask for better people to be one, just surrounding our girls on a daily basis, and then just how involved they are as well. So that's really awesome. And then just like the girls look up to them as well. And they did play at, like the next level, and they have a lot to offer in that respect. Also just that they've been involved in, my program they played for me. So they kind of just know what to expect as well. And knowing that they, support what we're trying to accomplish. And yeah, they're awesome. Like I know it's not every day that you get a lot of former players coming back to coach. So I definitely do not take that for granted, and appreciate everything they do to help make our program a successful one.
Absolutely. And I always say too, there's Notre Dame, there's obviously the kids on the floor and the coaching staff, but it goes so much beyond that. There's like the team behind the team too. I mean, obviously with Gracie's parents, like when you guys are watching film or they're watching film at home, like there's parental involvement in like scouting reports and tendencies and stuff. And so it's like having an entire NBA staff involved with when it gets time to some of these big time games, and it's hard to compete against. But it's been fun. Last year postseason run, it was fun kind of getting to know you guys, and we'll have a lot of fun this year, obviously, as our W7 North homeschool. And Dom and I we'll have some fun, and we'll get to know the kids a little bit better. But first day of practice on Monday, a week from now, who's opening up the gym, the first one there, and who might you have to drag out of the locker room to get their butt to practice on time?
Well, Gracie will probably be the first one there. Gracie is usually pretty comes early, stays late, and she's always been that way. I don't know if I'll have to drag any of them out, to be honest. I think they'll all be pretty excited for the first day. It's usually like when January rolls around, it seems like. But first day of practice, they'll all be pretty geared up, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. That dark alley in De Pere, we're walking down that dark alley, or not De Pere, but Green Bay. Who we taking with us to watch our six?
Okay, Connor, I was thinking about this question last night, and I have a lot of people on my team. I would take Sydney would be one. I would probably take Kaya.
She's my number one. Sid's my first one. Okay,
Kaya's another strong one, but Morgan Goki, like she's pretty tough too. Kendall Runsman, I honestly would consider her too, like all four of these, and then probably Trista as well. I think she would be a contender. But there's five people I'd have to debate between here. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Like Morgan's pretty, I don't know, Morgan can scare me sometimes.
There we go. Well, it sounds like we got if I get down to Nashville, we got a whole private security squad to walk down the street.
Yeah, you got an entourage, Connor. You got an entourage down there.
Entourage. We're rolling with security. The W7 security squad. I love it.
I think they would all do a great job of protecting us.
Oh, for sure. What's you guys always have great T-shirts and one-worders. I love the a couple years ago the non-conference champs when you won during COVID year when there was a no official champion. But what's the word this year? What's the phrase this year? Kind of the culture for this year's squad.
Our team motto is "Going for it."
Yeah, and that I love it, and big target obviously on your backs, and none bigger than Pewaukee has circled. But I mean, something that honestly I don't think a lot of people realize is something that hasn't been accomplished ever in the state. at least on the girls' side. I'm not sure on the boys, but no team has ever won 4 in a row. Programs have won 4 over a 5-year period, or 3 in a row, but kind of looking to kind of set history here in the state, and hopefully we can be a part of that all the way from the opening tip on November 21st. November 28th, just up the road here from us, and then finish it in March over at the Rest Center.
Sarah,
Yeah,
do you feel pressure, Sarah, to do that? I mean, I think everybody just become accustomed to just Notre Dame just always wins. And, I wouldn't say it's a foregone conclusion by any means, but I mean, do you guys do the kids feel pressure to do this, to make history this way? Or do they not think about it?
I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be hard not to think about, because I think
Right.
we will be asked that question probably quite often. But yeah, how do you not think about it, honestly? I don't know, but with that, I do think like pressure is a privilege. And I think we also know, and I think our girls understand this too, like that it doesn't just happen because it happens. Like they have a lot of, work to put in, and things that are going to have to align as well. Like just, from a team chemistry standpoint, every team's different every year.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we do have some talent, but we also need to like put all the pieces together to make it happen, and just kind of, I mean, it will not be easy,
Right.
but it's obviously something we are, going to try to do.
Absolutely. And who's the TikTok queen there for the squad putting together the game day posts?
Okay, well, I think you know who this would be too. Sydney.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna have to come up with a lot more nicknames. It's just everything. Like there's one of those quiet, silent assassins, and does everything kind of behind the scenes. And all of a sudden, you look up and she's got 15 points and a TikTok video all put together during the game. It's quite impressive.
And I'm excited to watch Peyton Musial play this year too. I think P could have a really big year, Sarah.
Yeah, I do too. Peyton, I'm excited for this year. She, I mean, she's grown, she's gotten stronger, and
that's
I'm really
scary.
excited for Peyton.
Other teams, that's scary because P was already good.
Yeah.
We kind of dubbed her playoff P in the playoffs last year because everybody queued on everybody else, and then she just show up and all of a sudden she's got 15, 17 points and knocking down big shots. And if she's gotten stronger and more physical on the inside, that could be trouble.
Yeah, she's kind of like she can be like a silent assassin at times too. She's a little deceiving, and I think she knows, like, she, obviously wants to play at the next level as well, and has really kind of, put in her time, and I'm excited for her too. Just being a year older, I think going from a sophomore to a junior is a big step as well.
Yeah.
Just emotionally, and she's an upperclassman, and I think that always changes the dynamics and just the confidence of a player.
Absolutely. Well, Sarah, it's been good catching up. We'll have to maybe I'll drop in on a practice or something next week and see what's going on ahead of the big matchup against Pewaukee on November 18th to kick off the season for you guys. That'll be our 3rd or 4th game that week, Gary.
Yeah.
Kind of a big week. I think
it's a big week.
Dropped that entire week schedule so far.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big week.
It's been fun catching up, and we'll see if Sarah Rhodey and the Tritons can go for it in the 23-24 girls basketball season at W7 North Homeschool. You've been watching Girls Basketball Media Day. Head coach Sarah Rhodey with the Tritons. Gary,
Thanks,
who
guys.
are you coming back with?
Marcus Richter coming next from Wanakee. Thank you, Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. Good luck.
When I look into your eyes, I can see your love is strain.
W7 Live 23-24 Girls Basketball Media Day on W7. And our next guest is our good friend, the head coach of the Wanakee Warriors, Marcus Richter. Coach, appreciate you joining, taking the time to hang with us today, and welcome to Sweet November.
Thanks for having me. Excited for the year.
Well, hey, let's jump right into it. I'll put the timer on and get us going here. Let's talk first of all about 22-23, 15-11 overall, 8-7 in the conference, 5th place finish for you guys. Tough draw in the regional finals against a really solid Verona team. Talk about 22-23 highlights for you guys and what your takeaway was from last year.
Yeah, I mean, last year we were a really young team, starting a freshman and bringing another one off the bench a lot, another one who played, spot minutes, and playing 2 more sophomores in the rotation. So there was a lot of growing moments for us last year. So there was a couple games that, maybe we felt could have gone the other way, but those are learning moments for, when you have a really young team. But it was fun to see the growth from players such as like Claire, who, the year before was really just kind of a defensive player for us. And, for her to take on that new role and, be early and score was cool to see some of the players step up like that. And, see a player like Audrey, have an all-conference season as a freshman was fun to see for us, and makes us feel like the future's bright for us.
Yeah, the Might pipeline continues to flow through Wanakee with, of course, Lauren and now Claire and Audrey. And I hear there's one more waiting in the wings coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, one more in 7th grade. So we'll have 4 of them coming through the program.
Thoughts on I'd like to get your take just on the conference realignment, kind of your thoughts on what that looks like for you guys. I talked to Coach Schwen earlier, and he said it's going to be a real challenge with this Badger Large. The teams in there, there'll be no off nights this coming this year in conference play.
Yeah, absolutely. When when you get all the big schools in the conference all in one conference, it definitely helps with the competitive equity in the conference as a whole. But it definitely makes it much more of a challenge night in and night out. And when you add a team like Oregon, who I believe won the small last year, joining our conference, and then you see teams like Beaver Dam who bring back a large chunk of their rotation. Monona Grove brings back a large chunk of the rotation. Watertown, same boat. Us in the same boat. DeForest loses a couple stars, but they still bring back a good amount of players for their team. It just, it speaks to the depth of this conference. And I did tune in a little bit to Jerry's interview as well, and I agree with him that I could see the conference champion having 2 or 3 losses this year. Just because every single night you're going to have to show up and perform. And if you don't, any of those teams could really get you.
And that's what kind of makes it fun, right? And the kids, I think, enjoy that. The kids, want to play that high level of competition and really find out where they are. And I know you do too, and really get a good gauge on where you're at. I mean, hey, it's fun. It's always fun to win, but I mean those close ones were really what the memories are made of.
Absolutely. And you see that in practice day in and day out. The girls know who they're playing on the other side. And when it's a team that they know they have to show up and be ready to go against, you see that intensity, that focus, and them locking it a little bit more in those practices. So knowing that we're going to have to do that a little bit more this year than maybe we have in the past, should be fun to see the girls bring that every day in practice. But I would think it'll also help us, in the long run, lean into kind of the playoffs, knowing that they've been challenged night in and night out all year long.
Marcus, leadership wise, of course you lose Emma Gilding, 7.5 points per game last year, but you mentioned you bring Claire back, you bring Audrey back, Lexi's back, Ayla's back. I mean, and some others as well. What are you looking for as far as, growth and leadership? And, I mean, Claire's a senior now, and Lexi, I mean, you got a good amount of seniors. I mean, what do you expect out of this group this year?
Yeah, absolutely. It helps bringing back a player like Claire. She was voted a team captain last year as a junior, so she kind of has that experience as a captain, and seeing some of the other seniors like Lexi, really stepping up and into that leadership role this offseason and helping, even just driving around some of the young girls that we have on our team is really cool to see those girls grow up and take on that role. And I think that this year, we have the perfect mix of, that leadership with some seniors that have been there and done that, as well as having some of those young players who, also have been there and done that and are hoping to, maybe take that next step forward with their role within our program as well.
Identity-wise, Marcus, I mean, when you look at this team coming in, if you had to pick a word to say, this is really who we are or what we want to be, what's that word? Is there a word that you could choose for that?
I don't know if there's one word, but I think that this team kind of reminds me of a couple of our teams from a few years ago where we're a little bit deeper, a little bit more athletic, which allows us to, do some different things on the defensive end, and it'll allow us to rotate, a few more girls into the rotation without really having a drop off. So I think this team will be deep and will be more athletic, which I think allows us, like I said, to kind of look like some of those teams that you maybe saw us play, a couple of years ago versus last year where, we weren't quite as deep and weren't quite as athletic, and we're trying to figure out how to play at the varsity level. Where this year I think we have that experience, so we can kind of look like some of the teams that we've been in the past.
What's the outlook like for non-conference for you guys? As far as your scheduling goes and thought process behind that.
Yeah, we tried to beef up our non-conference schedule a little bit this year. We have Oosburg coming to town as a favor to our football coach. The Ketter Hagens are his nieces, so did him a favor. He's been telling me to get them in when they were at high school. Didn't really realize who they were when we did that one. He's a pretty good nieces come to town.
Yeah, he's a sandbagger, Marcus. You got to watch out for him.
Absolutely. But we're playing Lakeland at Beaver Dams Showcase, Germantown at the Kettle Moraine Showcase. So it'll be interesting to see who they are without KK. Our holiday tournament is Arrowhead, Cuba City, and Poinnette. So they'll be good for us to hopefully see, who I would think is one of the favorites in the sectional this year. To get to see them over winter break will be really nice for our kids to see that and have that experience going into the playoffs. And then we're playing Waupun late in the year, and then we're going to Fiserv as well to play Oconomowoc. So tried to beef up the schedule a little bit, but also try to provide some opportunities like the Fiserv game, because that's going to be, experience these girls.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, for sure. I've never talked to a coach that hasn't went there and had just an absolutely phenomenal experience for their players, and just that's definitely a memory maker there, no matter who you play, and being able to play on that court and have that experience is going to be a great time for the kids. The first day of practice, Marcus, I mean, what's the message to the players, coming in that first day when you kind of roll the ball out and say, let's go? What do you want them to know coming in day one?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the message for our group coming in, us going 15-11, 8-7 in the conference last year, like I mentioned earlier, that was a lot of growing pains and a lot of growth and learning how to play as a varsity basketball team and varsity basketball players. I think the message this year coming in is a lot of you guys have that experience already. Now it's time to start showing up night in, night out, and I think the message is I think this team has enough talent to compete with some of the top teams. And if we can figure some things out and figure out who we are early in the year, I think we absolutely have a chance to be with the top couple teams in the conference come the end of the year. So I think that's the message to the girls is kind of believing in their abilities and believing in what this team truly can be if they mesh together and become that one unit.
It's a great problem to have, right? I mean, it's you've got so much talent. I mean, I watched you guys in that Slinger game, and I was just wowed by the play, especially that second half of that Slinger game. I thought you guys really, really played well. But I also know with a young team, I mean, you have those moments where you're like, who are these people? And what happened to the team that we saw last week? So I'm sure consistency is a big thing on your radar with this group this year. But I'll tell you, I mean, there's no shortage of talent in this crew.
Absolutely. I mean, last year, that was kind of the story of our season, right? We would have a half where we'd score 40, 45 points, and then and then we'd follow it up with, a half with 15 or 20 points, and it would be a close game when maybe it shouldn't have been. So I think, trying to put together both halves this year and playing a complete game, I think, is what we're really striving to be this year.
So let's do a quick speed round here with Coach Richter. What do you got?
All righty, Coach. Practice Monday morning. Who's the first one there flipping the lights on for you, and who's the last one to come strolling out of that locker room?
Emily Aker will for sure, guaranteed she'll be waiting for me in the parking lot at about 5:30 a.m. come Monday morning. Last one rolling in is probably going to be one of our freshmen. We'll probably be rolling in right at game time, ready to go.
Hey, that's mom and dad though, getting up out of
bed. Yeah, yep.
Hey,
it's funny because she's in the gym every morning at 7 a.m. But come at morning practice, I think she's gonna be one of the last ones rolling in.
Of course, with love, because we hope she's actually the first one there waiting to flip those lights on. But who's the team mom kind of taking care of everybody, making sure everybody is up and going Monday morning, ready to go for practice?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Claire on that one. With having a younger sister, she was like our team bus last year with many young kids as we had that couldn't drive. She'd show up and there'd be like 8 girls piling out of her car at practice. So I think she takes on that role.
Absolutely. All right, we're headed down that dark alley in Wanakee. Who's got our 6, Coach?
I think I'm gonna have to go with Lexi on that one. She's never afraid to pull her sleeves up and flex. I think she's who I'd want to have my back in a dark alley.
Fantastic. Who's doing the TikToks and all the selfies and getting everybody involved?
I think we're gonna have to go with Grayson Phillips and a couple of our JV kids. I think those guys would they're the big TikTok people, but I think I'm going to have to go with Grayson Phillips would be the varsity one.
Fantastic. And talked about a little bit, but kind of your identity this year, kind of one word, one phrase for your culture.
We're big using the word family. We really strive for that one. Like the girls to kind of turn into a family on the court, but off the court. And I think that's one thing we really have going for us. Is even though we're spread out, through the 4 grades with our program, the girls genuinely enjoy each other and love spending time with each other. So it's really cool for us to see, some of those seniors hanging out with the freshmen and sophomores, off the court as well. So I think we really strive to have that kind of that family feel within the program.
Fantastic.
Marcus Richter, head coach at Wanakee. Coach, thanks so much for your time. By the way, spoiler alert, Wanakee girls basketball coming back to W7 in 23-24. Find out when on November 12th at 8 o'clock on our schedule reveal show. Coach, wish you all the best on Sweet November. I know it's such a great time of year, and I know you're excited to get things going. So the best to you and the girls, and to look forward to seeing you this season.
Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Marcus Richter.
You're welcome. Good luck this year, Coach.
Thank
the
you.
head coach for the Wanakee Warriors. We're coming back with Marcus Flowers from Vel Phillips Memorial next on W7 Girls Basketball Media Day.
When I look into your eyes, I can see your love is strain. But darling, when I hold you, don't you know I feel the same?
W7 Live. We are back. It is Girls Basketball Media Day on W7. Carrie Wilberman and Connor DuBois, and our special guest, the head coach of Val Phillips Memorial in Madison. It is Marcus Flowers. Coach, welcome to W7 Girls Basketball Media Day. Thanks for joining us. Oh, I think I may have you on mute, Coach. Let me just double check here. Or maybe you're on mute. Coach, can you hear me? Okay, I'm not getting audio from you. What am I doing wrong here? How about now? Coach, you're our first hiccup of the day. It's been smooth sailing all day long. Do me a favor, pop out and then pop right back in and see if we can pick it back up again. Connor, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you. You got me?
Yeah, I can.
All right. Hey, not bad. 1 out of 25.
Yeah, not bad at all. Coach, how about now? You can hear me fine. I cannot hear you at all. Let's see. Darn technology, I tell you. You don't have your audio muted or anything, right? On your phone? Are your speaker muted? No? Okay. Connor, you can still hear me, right?
Yep, I got you.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, Coach. I'm going to see if we can get you squared away here. Hang with us. Don't go anywhere. You guys, we'll be right back. You're watching W7. Okay, we are back. And as I always say, better than ever. Marcus Flower is joining us from Val Phillips Memorial in Madison. Coach, thanks for joining us on Girls Basketball Media Day. It's great having you.
Thanks for having me, and I just appreciate what you're doing. This is great, a great way for folks to get kind of hyped up for the season. I've been watching all day when I've had opportunities to, just popping in and out of my office. I've had it on all day, so it's been really great, a really great thing to do.
Fantastic. Well, we appreciate you and your support and of the memorial community as well. Let's jump right in. I'm going to turn our timer on to make sure that Connor and I don't ramble off too long here. So let's start with talking about 22-23. You know, a challenging season for sure for you guys. You know, 7-18 overall, 7-13. Actually, it says Badgers 12. That's the Big 8, of course, in the conference play. Coach, can you just talk about last year and kind of the journey that you guys went through last year and you know what you take away from that?
Yeah, it was a lot of learning. We had a really young group. It was kind of a rebuilding year for us. We've had some success over the last couple of years, and last year we kind of reset a lot of things within our program. A lot of young kids, sophomores and freshmen contributing. In contributing roles, and a lot of first-year varsity kids who are in contributing roles. From the year before, we only had, I think, 2 kids come back from that team that had played a significant amount, and everyone else was having their first varsity experience. And for 4 of our kids, we had 4 freshmen on our varsity team last year. They were having their first high school basketball experience. So there was a steep learning curve. The Big 8 is not an easy conference to come in with a lot of young players. And, you know, we took our lumps, we learned a lot, but I think it'll be for the better. And that was our approach to last year, was really framing it up for the girls that we're going to learn a lot about high school basketball. We're going to learn a lot about Big 8. We're going to learn a lot about what it takes to win at a high level in the state of Wisconsin. And I think some of those lessons have stuck, and we made a lot of progress this summer. In our summer competition, summer league, and summer tournaments that we played in, there's just a lot of growth. So we're really, really excited about where this team is going to go going into this year.
Yeah, and coach, I mean, it's a great point, and I guess I'd love to hear kind of your take on, with freshmen coming in, a lot of them played, like Avery for sure. They've played at AAU, they've been successful everywhere with what they probably won at the middle school level and at the at the elementary level. How do you manage through that, that kind of a season that maybe some of them haven't been through before, to kind of temper the frustration and really kind of pull back and see the bigger picture? How do you manage that as a coach?
Yeah, we really do a lot with trying to put things in perspective. Perspective is key. Helping them understand that struggle is a part of success. It's a key ingredient to success. You're going to struggle before you can succeed, and helping them understand the toughest level of basketball that they've played at. Coming in, middle school is one thing. Even AAU is another thing. Coming in and going against, kids who have great chemistry because they play together a lot. They're practicing, 5 to 6 days a week together. They're older than them. So balancing all of those factors that are playing against them and helping them understand that it's a process. It's hard to come in right away and just have the same level of success that you had against grade level peers when you're going against, you're 14 or 15 and you're going against 17 and 18-year-olds.
Right.
Who also have been around and are more physically developed and more physically mature, but also more mentally and emotionally mature and able to handle the physical and emotional rigors of a high school basketball season, which is also just a huge jump.
It's a little more pressure too, right? I mean, in AAU, you kind of just roll the ball out and you go, and the referees are wearing shorts, and it's kind of a casual type atmosphere. And I'm not knocking AAU ball. It's just it's more quantity. I mean, you play a ton of games, whereas at the high school level, I mean, you're playing 25 games, but I mean, it's starting lineups, national anthems, I mean, and again, you're not playing 14-year-olds, you're playing 17 and 18-year-olds. That's a different thing to come into.
Yeah, it's a very different thing to come into, and with that comes the attention that it has. Like there's a different level of attention in the community, attention around the school,
yes,
and being able to handle those conversations when you lose a game by a lot, and you got to come in as class and study hall the next day, and you got 4 or 5 guys from the freshman team on the boys team, ask you what happened.
Right.
And how do you handle that?
Right.
How do you not throw a teammate under the bus? How do you talk about it in a constructive way, but also don't add negative energy to the situation? It's something that you have to learn how to do. It's a skill that you have to develop, and then that's a part of that mental and emotional kind of maturity that I'm talking about when I'm talking about the older kids being able to handle that. They kind of been around for a little bit. Also, just being thrown into the fire that fast. Some kids don't get that, have to do that so quickly, and that's a big part of it. Because it's very public. And for kids nowadays, that's also a challenge for them to handle. Is the success is public, but also when you don't do well, it's public.
And it's a lot of pressure, right? I mean, and we know that as adults and trying to get these kids ready. But I mean, the good thing is, like you said, I mean, a lot of young kids, but I mean, a lot of them kind of got a chance to cut their teeth last year, right? And so you're hoping to see that development, that maturity this year. When you kind of get together that first day of practice and you get in that circle, I mean, what's the message that you have for them? When the season kind of gets going.
Yeah, last year we learned a lot. Now it's time to apply those lessons and apply them with the intent to win. I think last year we as coaches kind of really adjusted our message, knowing that we were going to be super young. It was a lot about learning, and we focused on that, and that was our message. And our message this year is going to be very much we're out here to win games, and that's what we're pursuing. And so for the team, there are going to be things that are a little bit different as far as opportunities, and making sure that people understand that we're playing winning basketball. Last year, we gave folks an opportunity to kind of test themselves out. As you said, cut their teeth, get a feel for things, see what we had. And now we're going to iron out the rough edges and try to, push our way back to the top of the Big Eight.
Yeah, and conference wise, I mean, thoughts on the Big Eight this year. I mean, it's always tough, right? I mean, it's a 12-team kind of loaded conference. Thoughts on what's the outlook that you see for the conference this year?
Yeah, a lot of talented kids in the conference as always. I think Verona is going to be up near the top. They've been on a great run the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And, they have Taylor Stremlow and Reagan Briggs and Maya Ellis coming back from last year's team, which was a really great team.
Shouldn't Taylor Stremlow have graduated like 3 years ago? Doesn't it feel like she's been here for like 7 years or something?
I know, right? I wish she had, but I know Taylor's awesome.
Taylor is awesome. We adore her.
Yeah, I admire her game. I love the way she plays. I love her passion. Like, she's a competitor, and I really respect that and appreciate that about her.
Agreed.
And then you have an Elena West at La Follette, who's also just awesome. And so a lot of great individual talents. I think the big thing is Verona's going to be in the mix, and then you got a school like Sun Prairie West, who had some really strong talents in Antonique Austin, Marie Outlay, Avery Anthony, Micaiah Hawk, who graduated last year. But they have a really strong core of kids who play supporting roles with that group. Who are going to be stepping into larger roles. Yeah. So they're going to be stepping into larger roles. So that, and they're deep. So that's another team that's going to be in the mix. La Follette will be in the mix with Elena West. She is a force of nature.
Yes, she is.
It's great to see that the state is kind of catching on to what she can do.
It took a while, didn't it, Marcus? It took a while for people to see that.
We knew down here. We knew in Madison. She's kind of a legend around these parts and has been a legend since she was a kid. She played football growing up. Pop Warner, football growing up. So, but yeah, the conference is going to be tough. I think Janesville Craig usually is pretty tough. They lost Maya Nicholson to an injury, so that's going to hurt.
Oh, I didn't know
one of
that.
The things,
that's tough.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I love Maya. That's too bad.
Yeah, she's a heck of a player, and she's going to be doing a lot for that group this year. So I think that's going to put them kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit. They're going to have to retinker some things. And then, coaching changes in our league. Coach Murphy, who's a good friend of mine, stepped down at Verona. Coach Storbakken.
Isn't it?
I know, right? But they got a good one in Coach Richardson. And she's going to keep
love
that squad
Richardson.
on
She'll
track.
do great. She'll do great.
Yeah. They've been grooming her and putting her in position to take that over, and I think it's a really good choice. And Coach Storbakken in Janesville stepped down this summer, so those are some of the people I've always been chasing and kind of always used as measuring sticks as far as our program and me as a coach.
Culture-wise, Coach, I mean, if you look at the culture, the identity of this team, what is it? What is it to you? If you had to pick a word to say this is really what we want to be this year, what is that word?
I think we want to be resilient. I think that's the biggest thing. I want this team to be a team that you're going to have to put away every night. We're not going to beat ourselves. We're also not going to roll over and let somebody take us out in the first 10 minutes of a game. Every time you play us, you're going to have to play a full 36 minutes. And that's the team that we want to be.
Yeah, no, great. That's great. And again, I'm excited to see this young crew. How they do this year. 4 of your top 5 scoring players are back from this year. I'm going to shift to Connor. Connor, give us a quick speed round, and we'll let Coach Marcus get on his way.
Absolutely, Coach. Who's that first one at practice, and who's that last one? Kind of, dragging out the locker room, still lacing them up for practice on Monday.
I think the first one in the gym is probably going to be I'd probably say Alexa Rose Warman. She probably will be the first one. Again, with a young group, she drives. So not everybody's driving on the team yet. So she'll probably be the first one there. And whoever she picks up on the way will probably be the first people in the gym. Last one rolling in. I think I would go with probably, let me see, maybe Nevaeh Jackson. We call her Nay. Nay, she'll come in still putting her shoes on sometimes. So I'll nominate her as last one rolling in. What else you got for me?
All right. Oh, late Nay, huh? Late
Nay. Got to remember that one.
And so if Alexa Rose is driving, she might be the team mom picking everybody up. But if she's not, who else on the squad is kind of keeping everybody in line and kind of playing that mother hen, keeping everybody moving forward?
Yeah, I think that's one of the good things about this group is I think we have some strong mother hens. I think Michaela Blackamore and then Alexa Rose Warman will both kind of be team moms as seniors. They both kind of grew up a lot last year as juniors who were trying to shepherd young group of sophomores and freshmen. And I think they've kind of stepped into those roles and kind of grown into those roles fully as kind of like, hey, we're going to keep us in the right path and keep us on the right track.
Absolutely. All right, now we headed down that dark alley. Who's that enforcer for us, kind of watching our back, making sure we're all right?
Oh, that's easy. Princess Wachukwu, for sure, is going to be our team enforcer.
Love it.
She don't play. She don't play. If I had to pick a second, it would be Nakira Martin. Kiki, she's a no nonsense type of kid. So both of those two. If I'm in a dark alley, I want one of those two with me.
Fantastic. Who's putting together the TikToks or the Instagram reels? The game day, keeping it loose in the locker room.
Yeah, we have a freshman coming in, Kennedy Harden, who has a good shot to make the team. Kennedy is always testing people on whether or not they know the latest TikTok dances. So I would go with Kennedy as our social media guru, influencer, etc. Yeah, it would definitely be Kennedy.
All right. Fantastic, Coach. Love it.
Marcus Flowers, I want to thank you for your support of W7 over the years. It's been great just chatting back and forth. I know we would get some challenges doing a home game with you guys, but maybe we can work something out to get one of your road games in this year. We'd love to see you and the girls again this year. Really enjoy watching you guys play.
Thank you, and thanks for all you all do for promoting the game in the state and supporting the young ladies in high school who are participating in athletics. So appreciate everything you do.
Appreciate it, Coach. Good luck.
Thank you, Coach.
Right,
appreciate your time. Good luck this season. Enjoy Sweet November. We're coming back with the new head coach of Green Bay Southwest, Corey Giradakis, coming up next. You're watching W7 Live.
When I look into your eyes, I can see your love is strain. But darling, when I hold you, don't you know I feel the same? Nothing lasts forever, and we both know hearts can change. Then it's hard to hold a candle in the cold November rain. We've been through this such a long, long time, just trying to kill the pain. Oh yeah. Love is always coming, love is always going. No one's really sure who's letting go today. Walking away. If we could take the time to lay it on the line, I could rest my head just knowing that you are mine. Oh, mine. So if you want to love me, then darling, don't refrain. Or I'll just end up walking in the cold November rain.
W7 Live back here on the Girls Basketball Media Day. We are here with Green Bay Southwest new head coach, Corey Giradakis. Coach, did I get that right?
We got Coach Corey on.
Gary, you got us muted again?
Nope. Can you hear me, Connor?
I got you, Gary.
All right. Let's see. Coach, I'm going to have you bounce out and bounce right.